At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Central Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 501-244-3667, or visit our website at directserviceoverhead.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
Oh my goodness. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Are we ready? Are we good? Are we good to go? Yo! How are you fine people today? Welcome to Tuss Talk with Ty Live. This is the live show. I got what was that? I did a YouTube short the other day. You can go catch it. Talking about, I took a little piece of a live show from last week and threw it into a video. Thought you guys might enjoy that. For those of you who maybe haven't had a chance to catch the whole live, I love that you guys are going back and watching the content, by the way, and I love that we're getting people even several days after the live has been published. People are still going back and watching. I just ask that you guys make sure you're liking and sharing, please. Goodness, this time of year it's brutal. The more you guys share, it shows the more that you care. So, like, share, subscribe if you're new here. Shout out to Patreon supporters. We have our new list. It's up. It was this bad boy right here. Yeah, okay, there you go. That's it. There's some more names on there, but you guys saw the crawl at the beginning. Yeah, all right. How you guys doing? How are you doing? Bot Magnet says we are RBU. Okay. How's it going, Ultimate Gaming? Do y'all think we're turning into wide receiver U or tight end U? We've been getting some good players at both positions. I think in order to get the U, in order to get that reputation, you've got to produce it on the field. Not how you're recruiting, right? But it's how you're doing week to week. It's how during the regular season. It's the postseason accolades. It's producing All-Americans. That's if it's at a given position. And that's why after Darren McFadden and the Hillis, Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, Peyton Hillis, several years later, it was odd they weren't doing this when those guys were here. You had a back-to-back Heisman runner-up, Doak Walker Award winner twice, All-American, All-Americans. Then you fast forward to I know I'm skipping Nile Davis and Dennis Johnson, but you skip to Alex Collins and Jonathan Williams. It was right around that time when they were like, you know what? And I remember ESPN, I don't remember if they tweeted this because it was 2013, maybe 2014. It had to be 14, right? And I think it was an article maybe that ESPN had written. But they had tagged Arkansas as RBU because of what you accomplished at running back for the past 7 or 8 years up until that point. I wouldn't call Arkansas RBU. Definitely wouldn't call them wide receiver U. I think for a brief moment in time, they were tight end U. I think there was a little while, especially after Hunter Henry winning the Mackey Award. Right? Okay. I don't even, I like that topic though. I like having that discussion. Shout out to this show's sponsors, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. And the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria, located on Emma Street, right here in Springdale, Arkansas. They've got wonderful pies, IPAs on tap. great environment, a great staff. I've got their menu up in our Discord, by the way, just like direct service overhead. We've got their links provided for you down below this very video. So make sure you, give them a call if you need them. Direct service overhead. And if you happen to be in Springdale, go check out the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria. Love the cap. Hint, hint. Oh. Yeah, that's right. Okay, Tim, I don't know. Did I get back with you? I did get back with you. So I actually talked to Lids today. I am going to have some more hats done up. Arizona Tim, you're on that list, my man. I'm going to have some more done up, hopefully relatively soon. They're recruiting the hell out of these wide receivers. Two wide receivers rising up the rankings in, we'll get to that in a minute. What it do, Ty? Nice wide receiver pickup. Now we need some monsters on the O-line. Yeah. Well, really quick, I wanted to. Did I put it in the? I did. SEC expansion article. It's in the title of the video. A website, Clutch Points. Clutch Points published an article today. Story by Jonathan Alfano. Jonathan Alfano, with the article for Clutch Points, said the name of the article is Florida State, 3 college football team candidates for SEC expansion. So Florida State obviously among them. But I found this interesting. I'm not going to read. It's not a real long article, to be honest. But I mean, that he breaks down all the teams, and we're not going to get into all that. But here's what he says, because we've got the ACC. I'm telling you guys, it's just a matter of time before the ACC is done. It's just a matter of time. The Big 12, I still think the Big 12. I'll be surprised if that's still a conference in the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 years. I'll be surprised. I really think, and the Pac has also got its own. I think eventually what you're going to see is all those teams kind of in Texas and further west, and then, you go up to the Northwest, you're talking about, Oregon State, Washington. They're all going to meld together, and they're going to become one super conference. I don't know. Maybe that's how they save themselves. Whoever has more purchasing power, and they're just going to soak each other up, or they form a whole new conference. So I'll say this. In its current state, the Big 12, I mean, dude, without Oklahoma and Texas, what is that conference really? And don't give me, TCU did make the playoffs. Okay, cool. Do it again. One time, and I'm glad they did, and you guys know, anyone who knows me, if you caught me on Mark Rogers' show, I was rooting for TCU. I knew they were going to get their shit kicked in, and that's exactly what happened. But, I just don't see the Big 12 as a threat. Like, as a conference, right? I'm not saying that there aren't teams in that conference that couldn't beat Arkansas right now. They could. I think there are several teams in the conference that could beat Arkansas. At least the 2022 team. 2023, I kind of feel like Arkansas would run that conference. Hint, hint. My prediction's coming soon. Just saying. Be prepared. It might come sooner. So I think that's what's going to happen over there. So he's talking about, and he's closing up the ACC here. The landscape of college sports is changing before our very eyes. Another round of conference realignment is underway with new schools joining the Big 12, but the main event takes place next year when Texas and Oklahoma join the SEC, and USC and UCLA jump to the Big 10. Yeah, so who are you going to have left in the pack if the Big 12, like, what's going to happen with, like, Utah, Cal, Stanford? I think Stanford. Stanford should be a Big 10 school. I don't know why. When I think of Stanford, I think Big 10. And I don't know why that is. It's weird. Following these moves, the status of Power 5 conferences has been the biggest topic in the sport. The SEC and the Big 10 are clearly on top. The Big 12 is doing relatively well. Disagree with that. The ACC appears to be divided. Who knows what is happening with the Pac-12? It is very possible that this could mark the beginning of an arms race between the two top conferences as as both look to assert themselves as the best. I wonder, too, how many teams out of the Pac and how many teams out of the ACC don't try to go independent because they think they're too big for their britches. Like Florida State, you can argue right around the time Jimbo, won the national title at Florida State, or you can go further back, back when them in Miami. You remember that period of time when it was like them, Miami, I think Virginia Tech. Those teams were kind of – it felt like that was the future of college football. Like that was a big – Florida State was a big brand name. Not so much, although looks like they might be turning it back around. In that case, the SEC, as the top conference of college football for nearly 20 years now, seems to be in good shape. However, the conference could still look to expand even further and gain even larger foothold. Texas and Oklahoma coming in leaves the conference at 16 schools, but it wouldn't be a surprise to see it eventually become a bigger conference with 20 or more teams. Good Lord. So they have their list. Let's get into it. Number 4, Miami Hurricanes. And by the way, he says it, spoiler alert, all these teams are out of the ACC. Miami Hurricanes at number 4. At number 3, North Carolina Tar Heels. They're getting the Lou Holtz, Steve Spurrier job right now at North Carolina. I don't know long-term that North Carolina – I mean, yeah, okay, you can argue, well, they're doing better than Arkansas. They're doing better than the Mississippi schools. Like they're at least somewhat consistent at being a better than where they were kind of program. They're on an upwards trajectory. At least they have been with who there coaching. I just don't know that they're a long-term. I don't see North Carolina as any kind of a threat. I don't know for basketball that would be insane if you could get them and. Obviously, Duke would be great. But he's got North Carolina at 3, Clemson at 2. Clemson makes sense. You kind of wonder what happens with the future of that job, especially after Alabama in the next few years. What happens with Nick Saban? And then what happens to what happens if they go and pluck Sweeney from Clemson? And then what happens to – but Clemson has always been a program that's recruited pretty well. So, and Florida State, number 1. So – he says Florida State and Clemson are essentially neck and neck as top SEC expansion candidates, and either one could easily be number 1. The Seminoles have more historical success, but the Tigers have been the better team lately. In the end, Seminoles just barely edge out the Tigers for a couple of reasons. I'm not going to go into his reasoning, but he's got Florida State as the top team, and I think that's probably right. I would say of all eligible schools – if you want to talk historically, and now it looks like they're kind of turning it around, Florida State would have to be – like look at them in all sports, like baseball, even though they have similar history in terms of getting to the College World Series and not getting the job done. But they were a legit baseball program. But then in this article, it's talking about football. We know what they were in football. I mean, they were a powerhouse. Joining the SEC would be huge, I think, for them. It'd be trouble for the Florida Gators. I'll tell you that right now. If Florida State and Clemson in Miami join this conference, it would be trouble for the Gators. I'm telling you right now. Just look at their history. Look up Florida Gator Football Wiki and look what happened in the 90s, and then look before. It would be trouble for the Gators, I think. So it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of my opinion. His 247 comparison. Oh, yeah, you guys are going on about the. We'll get there in a minute. So here's a question for y'all. With Pittman being an O-line guru that he is, and Kennedy there, do y'all think we hit our peak, or could the line get better? Ultimate Gaming wants to know in chat. Rated for Duke at Bud Walton. Isn't that awesome? I swear I thought they were going to end up with, like, Georgia Tech. I really did. I thought they were going to draw Georgia Tech. And that's no disrespect to them, but it's just how things have gone, right, for Arkansas. I don't know what happened. My live chat disappeared. Uh-oh. What is this all about? Hang on, let me refresh my page here. My live chat just completely disappeared. You guys know I do try to interact with you. If you have any questions or comments, fire away, please. So let's get on to the, it's still gone. Hopefully it comes back. I don't know. I'm unable to read live chat. That's strange. Arkansas gets a good one. They get a big time prospect, 4-star wide receiver. Ashton Bethel Roman. Now, this is a really big. This is a top 100 player in high school football. This is somebody out of Missouri City. Arkansas fans should be somewhat familiar with Missouri City, Texas. Again, he's part of the 2024 class. This is a top 100 prospect according to 247. Just 247. Their composite, they have him at 124. Both the composite and 247 have him as a top 20 wide receiver. 247 says he's a top 20 player or top 16 player in the state of Texas. 247 composite says he's 24th. He chose Arkansas. I think at the end of the day, it was Texas Tech who was kind of the actual threat there. Home, they got a little bit of they have a bit of an advantage, obviously being in Missouri City. Being there in state. You think about how often we talk about like the philosophy for recruiting should typically be play where you recruit where you play when you're talking about college football because for the very obvious reasons, these kids want to play in front of their family. They know that playing in one way or another, and that's why so many kids choose Arkansas. It's not just because, and I'm talking about in-state Arkansas kids, obviously Ashton is not. It's not just growing up being Razorback fans, but family and friends, being able to play in front of the home crowd. And that's, you beat out Texas Tech. From what I understand, there was a pretty good push there, but Arkansas ends up, they end up the victors here. Shout out to Kenny Guyton. Kenny Guyton is doing some work. This is a big get, man. I cannot tell you guys. Now, yeah, he's a little bit undersized, okay? 6 foot, 165 pounds. That is not a Sam Pittman era prototypical wide receiver. Now, you could talk about Isaiah Centennia, and you can talk about a couple other guys over the years that weren't exactly 6'3", 6'4". You don't pass up someone like this, obviously, who's this highly touted. I don't know. I don't remember when exactly Arkansas extended an offer. I could pull it up here, but I'm not going to. But I know that I believe this has been a Kenny Guyton thing since their initial offer. I don't think this is like an old OG offer. Okay, we're just going to have to pull it up here. Hang on. When did Arkansas offer him? Because I thought it was in 2023. Yeah, 2023. April 27th is when Arkansas pulled the trigger. Following that, Ole Miss, TCU, Oregon offered in May. But Texas Tech, man, they offered him in June of 2022. So just over a year ago. But Arkansas, again, Kenny Guyton knocks down the doors here and steals one from Texas Tech. Looks like Oregon was the last offer on May 17th. Again, good get. Ashton Bethel Roman, a big-time get. Arkansas doing a really good job with the wide receivers, whether it's transfer portal or high school. They're doing solid work here, man. This is a good get. 165 pounds. He'll tack on weight. He'll tack on a little bit of weight. I've been watching some highlights on Ashton. There's if you go find his huddle video, I think about halfway through his huddle video, I'm pretty sure it's his last one. It's about halfway. You see him split defenders and just pull away. He's got speed. He's got deep threat. He's a deep threat. He's got speed. Yards after catch, he could do that. He could be twisty. He's a little twisty after the ball or after the catch, so he gets the yak, the yards after catch. But I think his highlight is just going to be his deep threat ability, his ability to get downfield and just burn corners, man. Turn and burn. This is a really good get for Arkansas. I mean, obviously. So now the second part of the battle is keeping his commitment, right? It's keeping Ashton committed, which is, I mean, someone of this caliber, you always worry about other schools, coming in, and obviously Arkansas has been on both ends of that. When you're talking about coming in late on a high school prospect and stealing them away from some other P5 school. If you can do it to other schools, they damn sure can do it to you, especially after coming off a 6-win season from the regular season. Yeah, you won your bowl game, but you won 6 games in the regular season a year ago. But Arkansas is not like a hobbled, injured animal. Like, they're showing it, man. This is going to bump them back up into the top 20 in recruiting rankings, by the way. Put you at they dropped back a spot. They were 18th as of yesterday on the 4th. By the way, I hope everyone had a good, happy, safe 4th of July. Just going to throw that out there. But they were 18th, and they dropped back to 19th. That's just how it goes, right? So that brings you to, 7 4-stars? Charleston Collins, defensive lineman out of Little Rock. Still your highest rated player. Ashton is now, Roman is your second highest recruit. Kavion Henderson, another defensive lineman. Courtney Crutchfield, wide receiver, who got a big bump not long ago. He's now up to national ranking of 228. That's 4 top 250 players you have committed. That doesn't happen every year in Fayetteville. Norrell White, I'm telling you guys, his recruiting, he may stay committed. I don't know, but it feels like his journey is going to be a roller coaster ride. He's a 4-star. Julius Pope, and then KJ Jackson, the 4-star quarterback. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 4-stars. Jaden Baugh, I still don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name or not. He's a top 500 3-star. And then Jaden Allen is a top 600 3-star. And you can just keep going on. Zuri Madison, who's a good get. I like Zuri. You still have C.J. Brown, who committed out of Bentonville. So that's 3 wide receivers that are listed as wide receivers from 247 that are committed to Arkansas. I like C.J. Brown. I'm hoping to get a chance to watch him play this year. I'd like to watch him play. Knowing me, I'll probably wait till they play Fayetteville and go watch that. But, yeah, Arkansas's killing it with wide receivers. Hey, look, live chat's back up. Here we go. Remember, we won a championship at 64-94, and if that trend holds up, we got one next year. Yeah, that's true, Wilson. You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. That's the theme, isn't it? What's up, R.D. Miller? How you doing, man? I'm glad you can make it live. I'm hearing Collins may flip. I've not heard that. That's news to me. That's news to me, and I've not seen that in our Patreon chat. Our Patreon chat, guys, I mean, I give you what I can. And speaking of that, I got to own up. I've got to own up to one here. So we're going on. Remember, the title is Big Time Wide Receiver Picks Arkansas plus recruiting updates. One of those recruiting updates, so Chris Johnson Jr., we had talked about last week, and I said it felt like he was a flip to Oregon. And I also backed this up in Patreon chat, I think, recently, and I said, from what I understand, he wants to stay out west. Then, in a group chat that I'm in, for anyone who doesn't know, I have a trifecta. And the trifecta, think of it like a pyramid or whatever. Like there's 3 points, right? There's guy 1, guy 2, guy 3. Or, and I hate this freaking word so much, source 1, source 2, source 3. And if all 3 of them are in agreement, and keep in mind, only 2 of these guys actually know each other. The third one, they don't. So it's not like they're all, getting this information just from each other, although I think sometimes that has been the case. One of them had said in this chat, oh, it sounds like Oregon's backing off, Arkansas's a lock. He obviously did not commit to Arkansas. So I ran with it. I thought, oh, well, okay. And I asked him, okay, so what does this mean? He goes, well, as far as I know, there's only 3 schools, Arizona State, Oregon, and Arkansas. And Arizona State, I know, are in the picture, but I feel like Arkansas is number 2. So with Oregon out, he felt pretty confident that Arkansas was the school. That was not the case. So he kind of surprises both Arkansas and Oregon. Makes you feel a little bit better. It takes the sting away that it's not another Oregon commit that Arkansas was battling with head-to-head here. There's been, 3 or 4 prospects so far Arkansas has had to go toe-to-toe with a Pac-12 school, namely Oregon. But so he does 3-star corner, 6'1", 185 pounds. Now, someone in Discord posted this in Maine saying that Trey Biddy, let me scroll up here. Biddy just said Chris Johnson didn't have a spot at Arkansas because the Hogs are in top choice for higher rated players. So I don't know. Maybe that is the case. From what I understand, Arkansas was still in contact with Chris Johnson. From what I understand, Arkansas was still in contact with him. Up until when, I don't know. Maybe it's possible they did back off, but I've not heard anyone. No one's told me that Arkansas backed off. Could that be the case? Sure. Obviously, Biddy said it. Biddy's, you guys, you're going to want to take Biddy's word. If Biddy or Danny West say it, then I'm going to, that's all I need to know. So if Biddy did say that, then I guess that must have been the case. Arkansas might have backed off, and maybe they are going after some higher prospects. I know that he was sought after pretty heavily by Arkansas, Oregon, and Arizona State. And I think there was another Pac-12 school in the mix. But again, from the beginning, he was kind of back and forth, and it sounded like Arkansas was in the picture. In fact, I think I remember saying back in early June that I was a lean that he was going to come to Arkansas. Well, then a week later that changed, and it felt like, he's going to go to Oregon. This is recruiting, man. This is what sucks about it. It's fun, and it sucks at the same time. Because you're talking about 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. You never really know. You can only report with people who you trust, and they're not always right. It's just part of it. Danny West is not batting 1,000. He's not 100% on his crystal balls. But if Danny West says it, then that's good enough for me. If Trey Biddy says it, that's good enough for me. If Otis Kirk says it, that's good enough for me. If Dudley Dawson says it, if you're talking about baseball, that's good enough for me. Let's see here. Seen where Corliss is going to be an assistant coach. Yeah, he's oh my God. Yeah, he's an assistant. Did he go back to Sacramento? No, wait. Yeah, he's an assistant somewhere. It's not Minnesota, is it? I did see that. Collins recruiting for Arkansas. Doubt he flips. Yeah, I listen, anything's possible. I've not heard that. I've not heard that anywhere. But that doesn't mean that's not true. What's up, Lone Sportsman Outfitters? How you doing? I think we might have the best defensive front seven of the past 30 years next year. Ooh, that's ooh. Well, you've had some pretty good front sevens in 30 years though. You've had some really good front sevens. Not consistently, but yeah, they are going to be pretty deep. I do feel really good about the defensive line in terms of depth. So, yeah. I'm afraid we're going to get beat. Let's see. I'm afraid we're going to be so beat up after that 4-game stretch that we're going to blah, 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 blah. Yeah. We'll see, right? All right. We still got more recruiting, and there's some really good stuff. So Arkansas swings and misses on Chris Johnson. Some are reporting that Arkansas may have backed off. Listen, that has been the case before. I can confirm that. I can absolutely confirm that. Arkansas has backed off before. I mean, that's every team has. There's no team in existence in college football, the 130-plus teams in college football, that haven't backed off a recruit, even late in their recruitment. So you get Ashton Bethel Roman. I am going to tell you guys, I do still feel pretty strongly that Brian Huff doesn't end up at Arkansas. I mean, that's been pretty out there for a while. Patreon members are going to have to remind me to maybe we've talked about that here. I can't really recall. Fletcher Westfall, I give Arkansas maybe 10% chance. I just don't see that happening with Fletcher Westfall, which is unfortunate. Sounds like he's Clemson bound. What else do we have? Ashton Hampton, I'm going to provide Patreon supporters with an update tonight. Well, you know what? It's already kind of out there. In fact, I think he got another crystal ball to Clemson, or he got a crystal ball to Clemson. Ashton Hampton, the three-star safety, 6'2", 190 pounds, has been crystal balled to Clemson. That's another one. You know, I liked him a lot. So Fletcher Westfall and Ashton Hampton are both probably going to end up at Clemson. Kendall Jackson is going to announce, this is a big one, 6'4", 250. He's going to announce July 20th. This is another one of those must-gets. Arkansas, Miami, speaking of Miami, right? Florida, let's see, Arkansas, Florida, Miami, Kentucky are all in the mix. I think he has close to 20 offers total. He's going to announce on the 20th. So that's in 15 days. 5 days after my birthday. Arkansas did lose out on a defensive line prospect. Alex Foster committed to Baylor. 6'5", 250-pound rush end player committed to Baylor. I didn't think he was going to announce until mid-July, but he has committed to the Baylor Bears. So Arkansas did miss out on that one. Don't know how high priority he really was, but Arkansas, we talked about this last week. Arkansas needs to get after defensive linemen in this class. I have a feeling they're going to go transfer portal really, really heavily. So, there you go. Is that it? Is that all of our recruiting? Look at that, man. We're not even at 35 minutes, and we've already gotten all the recruiting out of the way. Best D-line in 30 years. The classes Bielema produced are our best in the past few. Says Lone Sportsman Outfitters. Yeah, I that's a lot. 30 years. You've had some pretty good front sevens over 30 years. Richard Davenport, they backed off Foster according to Richard Davenport. Okay. Well, was that on the radio, John? Where'd you hear that at? I don't know why they would want to back off Foster. I liked him a lot. Alex Foster out of Greenville, Mississippi. I wonder why. I wonder if there's maybe a grades issue or something. Dude, if we don't beat A&M. Yeah. I like Foster. Who I'd want of the, obviously Fletcher Westfall's the guy that you want, 4-star offensive tackle, like 6'9", 300 and I think he's like 340. He's a big dude, top 250 player in the country. He's a top 20 offensive tackle. He's way out east, right? He's like in the Virginias, I think. I don't have his profile. I need to pull his profile up. But yeah, that's someone I'd like to get. I just don't see Arkansas getting him. But Kendall Jackson is the one that's at least in front of you that you feel pretty good about. He's a 3-star, 6'4", 250. He is out of Gainesville, Florida. Florida is obviously probably in the lead, and that's, you know, if you can go down to Gainesville, and they are actively recruiting him, at least when I talked to somebody, a week or two ago, that they were still very active in his recruitment. He's a top 400. He's a top 500 player in the country, top 50 defensive lineman. He's a top 70 or so total player in the state of Florida, which is saying something, right? Top 40 defensive lineman according to 247 in the country. This is someone you want to get. Be a really big win to go down and grab someone like that out of Gainesville. Again, 6'4", 250, kind of a hybrid off-ball, on-ball defensive lineman. I think that weight might be wrong. I think he's closer to 260 pounds, but do not quote me on that. So Kendall Jackson, again, is July 20th. So, yeah. All right. There you go. He's out of West Virginia. Is it West Virginia? Okay. I knew it was somewhere out in the Virginias. Somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Hey, by the way, if you guys aren't, I'm gonna give you some recommendations here. This is for the nerds or for the people who have a little bit of time on your hands. First off, I hope you're playing Diablo 4. It is good. I haven't played in a few days. Damn good game. And I hope you have watched The Bear on Hulu. Oh my God. 2 seasons, and that show is incredible. I don't want to spoil anything. Season 2 kind of ended on a okay. But season 1 was fantastic. Season 2 was excellent. Highly recommend The Bear. I also recommend The Offer, which is also a good show. That was on HBO. Is it called The Offer? Is that what it is? It's the show about how they made The Godfather, the series on how they made The Godfather. I think it's called The Offer. Yeah, that's it. Came out last year, 10 episodes. It's got Miles Teller in it. It's got a couple. Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' kid is in it. There's some people you recognize. It's such a good series. But I highly recommend The Bear of all the new ones, of all the new shows. I am going to look for some more recommendations on some more shows to watch, but that one was so good. Ty, will you shave your beard if we get 10 wins? No. No, the only way I'd shave my beard is if Arkansas wins 11 games, I might. I'd consider it. What's your feeling on Russell probably recommitting to the Hogs? I am not allowed. I've been told by one person, please do not. I can't discuss the situation with him. It's nothing super serial, okay? It's nothing like, you know what I mean? It's just things that have to stay between people, and this is one of them. But his recruitment is wild. I'll just say that. I've heard South Carolina, of course, he went on an official visit to South Carolina recently, right? Didn't he go to South Carolina on a visit? I after he decommitted, I always felt like, well, there's an opportunity they're going to get him back. I think he's kind of exploring his options. I can say that much. He's exploring his options. Tennessee was definitely in the lead for a while. I've kind of just said, you know what, I may just wait until I really get something cemented about, where he's going before I say anything to Patreon members. Of course, that's where I go with all my information first, is the Patreon chat. So again, if you're a Patreon member, please make sure you link to Discord, because that in Discord, that Patreon chat's where all this stuff is going down. And it's not just me, by the way. There's other people that contribute, and they do a really good job. And not everyone's going to be super accurate, but boy, we've had some really good conversations happening there. And some accurate forecasting, other than the corner. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. If he's in the lead, if Arkansas is in the lead for him, that's news to me. I don't know. I've said for like 3 weeks now, it doesn't seem like no one really knows. It wouldn't shock me if he goes somewhere outside of South Carolina, Tennessee, and Arkansas, although it's probably going to end up being one of the 3. Definitely wouldn't shock me if he chose Tennessee or Arkansas. It'd probably be a little bit of a surprise if he went to South Carolina. So I don't know, right? If he commits to Arkansas, that's huge. That's big. That's big, right? That's really about all that's all I have. We'll see. It's the wait and see game with him. Heading to Arkansas from Arizona on August 6th. Oh, okay. Awesome. I can't wait. I'm the biggest Hog fan in Arizona and always love coming back there and seeing Hog bumper stickers and Hog flags flying everywhere. I know that every time we leave, like we went to Galveston, we went on a cruise. last year. It's always good when you get to eastern Oklahoma and you start seeing those Razorback or Arkansas license plates and the Arkansas flags and the bumper sticker. Yeah, it's home. It's not home until obviously you cross into Arkansas, but you feel like this is what I always think. That's my kin right there. Those are my people. That's what I think. Every time I see a Razorback bumper sticker, those are my people. Tinner was the leader last I had seen. Yeah. Yeah. R.D. Miller says, I'm never wrong. What are you talking about? You're never wrong about what? What'd you say? I'm never wrong. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, yeah. The Bear. The Offer. There's another show we watched. We've watched so many shows lately, but The Bear is good. I highly recommend it. Okay, that's going to do it. We're at 42 minutes. We knocked this one out, man. We kicked the tires and light the fires on this bad boy. I want to say I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And make sure if you're new here, you subscribe, share the content, like. We got 20 likes. I know we can do better than that. We can do better than 20 likes. Come on now. All right, so I don't know about another live this week. I was going to take it easy this week because it being a holiday and you know, we've got on Friday, we've got another 4th of July event. It's a late one, but we're going to do it again on Friday. So, damn voice to text, though. R.D. Miller. Hey, man, I've been there, brother. I've been there. What was I saying? Son of a bitch. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, we're doing a late 4th of July on Friday, so I don't know what my availability is going to be like. Unless there's some big announcement, I may chop up a video and publish something on Friday, or I may not. But, yeah, you guys know the month of July is pretty brutal, so I just do the best I can with what I have and what availability I have. And then we get back after it. And we're going to go back to a schedule more than likely, or it's going to be a loose schedule starting in probably late August, getting ready for week 1. It'll be here before you know it. It'll be here before you know it, okay? All right. That's going to do it. Woo Pig. I'll see you guys probably next week, possibly Friday, okay? I'll see you then.